Hello, this is a serious video. I'm sorry that it's too dark or whatever. I'm at work, I do security, and God bless anybody listening to this. So, this is really odd. You're gonna think I'm a weirdo, and you're probably right. So, I'm basically asking any Orthodox elder out there for a blessing. That's pretty much it in the video. I had some strange things happen tonight or last night, and if you want to hear the explanation, this really happened. So I've been arguing with atheists on the internet lately, and some of my material has gotten a lot of feedback. I wouldn't say in the thousands, but like in the couple hundreds or so. And earlier this night, just like about a half hour ago, I had something happen that used to happen to me before and was pretty ironic. Please let me explain. So, one, I guess in the Bible it says in Deuteronomy that we shouldn't interpret omens. I don't want to offend God. I don't want to open any curses by the demonic or something. But I saw something last night or a half hour ago, whatever. You know how morning and night coincide, so it's like 2 days in one. I saw something very undeniably ironic. And to give you context, before I found Orthodoxy, and to be honest, I haven't been baptized or anything. I had one of my best friends I ever had in life, for as far as I know, is missing or dead, and you should pray for him. His name's Isaac, and he wasn't doing too well, but he mentioned Orthodoxy to me, and for the past few years I've been really researching it, and I could talk about how it's mesmerizing to me, coming from a very even though I rebelled against Protestantism, you get the point. I'm a product of the late 20th century. I was born smack middle, the Satanic Panic, and the whole televangelist mess of the 1980s and whatever. And I can keep elaborating, but I rebelled against that stuff, and I got heavily into. I gotta see these cameras. I got really heavily into heavy metal, and I hated God and I hated Protestantism and stuff. So I dabbled in some pretty dark stuff like astrology, dating pagan women, yada yada, trying to live the sex, drugs, and rock and roll lifestyle. And when I was about 10 years ago, I noticed after I made some pagan woman mad, this happened at least twice, okay? And God forgive me, I don't want to open up doors to the demonic, but I started noticing something, okay? So I used to work at a different security site, and I would bring my pet cat to the job. Long story short, there would be rodents trying to get into my engine during the spring, and the presence of the cat, just the smell of it, would obviously circumvent that. Anyways, so some owl would fly overhead and look directly in my vehicle at the same time every night. Okay, so first I thought it was trying to eat my cat. And I noticed the owl was looking directly at me. Then fast forward a few years, another pagan woman. I was having a lot of bad luck back then. I can elaborate what kind of stupid, ironic misfortune I kept running into. And it was probably my fault for trying to live the sex, drugs, and rock and roll lifestyle. So some other pagan woman, so I meet her, she finds out I'm a conservative. I had a sleep paralysis episode where she's this hideous looking owl and she's talking to me in her voice, and she's basically trying to tell me like I don't know anything about women and yada yada yada, right? So these are the kind of things that made me stop and think when I was younger, that this sleep paralysis stuff, it's not just a brain glitch, it's obviously demonically inspired, and I should be pretty concerned about that, right? So I hope the audio is okay. So again, I would have like random misfortunes. I don't want to get into the story, but trust me, they were so ironic that there were obviously something strange going on. And another reason why I love Orthodoxy so much, because I first was entertaining the idea of going Catholic, right? Because I was sick of Protestantism, and Catholics believe, like, when I would tell Protestants about this kind of stories that I'm telling you, they scoffed it. They called me like mentally weak and that I'm weird, and it utterly pissed me off. It's like one of those horror movies where the subject victim is trying to tell people like their parents or something, and no one believes them. And I lived that firsthand, and people think I'm crazy to this day, and I have to live with that ridicule. But so the same thing happened just about a half hour or more ago. I have a pet cat at this job, and I see this owl coming right on witching hour time, and I stand by the cat because I think it's going to try to swoop up the cat and eat it. It looks directly at me, and earlier I was arguing with these atheists, and the subject got on the demon Lilith. In Jewish, Hebraic, or even biblical lore or something, you can Google where Lilith is supposedly in the Bible. I'm not going to die on that hill. I don't know if it is or she is, but Lilith is like the patron demon of like a bunch of Gothic women or pagan women or whatever. And one of the icons or images of Lilith is a desert owl. I'm in the desert, and this never just happens all the time. I happen to be walking around, in a freaking owl, like as white as can be, flies right overhead, looks me dead in the eyes. So I hope this video made sense. I hope I'm not annoying or too strange. I only really trust the Orthodox religion, so I'm making this video to ask any Orthodox elder for a blessing or for prayer, and that's pretty much the video. That's it. But I mean, like, maybe I'll spend one more minute or two giving details that I am not trying to be a standout or gain clout or notoriety telling ghost stories. I will admit that the strange, dark, and mysterious does pique my interest to research about it, documentaries or whatever. And so some people would discredit me thinking that I'm just trying to gain some kind of attention from it, but I have seen very weird things in my life, and I hear other people say a lot more stranger things than I have, and they looked very sincere. But I mean, like, if I could elaborate, if I had time, or if anybody out there had the interest, I'd like to tell these stories more often. But anyways, this was a very, very weird thing, and I'm not trying to, if the Bible says don't interpret omens, I'm not trying to go against God's will. It's just undeniably that these things I've seen in my life are very strange. Like, for example, my mother died at a young age, and I undeniably saw a freaking orb, like O-R-B. I guess no one believes me. I try to tell my Protestant father this. I can't really confide in anybody. So another reason why I was born Protestant, cradle Protestant, whatever you call it. respects the Catholic religions more. You know, Orthodox is Catholic too. Some not Roman Catholic, I understand, but they have credible notoriety with exorcisms, and I just feel like they've always been more open-minded to what I've said, whereas we American Protestants think that that's all superstition and mental weakness. And I mean, I did very rough sports, and I've ran miles and exercised and trained for those things until I puked. And I've sparred people that I knew I was going to lose. I know I'm not mentally weak, so when people tell me that, it discredits them to me, and it just makes a mutual cringe. So I really appreciate if any Orthodox elder out there actually watched this, and like, God bless you, like, Christ is risen, you know, no satire. And I'd like to also like elaborate one day of my experience fighting Orthodoxy, finding Orthodoxy. I'm not baptized yet, and I haven't gone to a church yet because I look like crap. Like, my car's very scary looking. I don't want to pollute the holy place with my tattered existence. But pray for my friend Isaac. He was a Romanian Orthodox guy that I fell out of touch with, and he wasn't doing very good the last time I saw him. He was very depressed, and he was doing drugs and stuff, but I could tell he had a lot of zeal. And I mean, man, was this kid brilliant. And everything he told me went over my head, but the longer I live, I see that he was right about everything. And I eventually I kind of inadvertently fell upon researching Orthodoxy, and compared to the Protestant things that I rejected and despised, I was mesmerized. I could have swore I heard a noise. I'm kind of scaring myself, going mad or something, but I was pretty much mesmerized by... Anyway, so I'm kind of freaked out from what happened, but I could have swore I just heard, we have these fobs that get you access to doors, and I just heard it eat, like the noise that it makes. So anyways, I'm going to bail out and go walking around, do a patrol. God bless, and I know I'm kind of strange. I apologize.